Delegations from the ruling Justice and Development Party, AK Party, and the main opposition Republican People's Party, CHP, came together on Monday in a final round of talks over the formation of a coalition government, despite the prospect of such a coalition appearing increasingly improbable. In the fifth and final round of this week's talks, the AK Party and the CHP plan to focus on the country's education system, its relationship with the European Union and foreign policy. The negotiations are only supposed to be preliminary talks intended to pave the way for both sides to outline their positions on a variety of topics before the start of genuine coalition negotiations. The final meeting began shortly after 2 p.m. at the Ankara Palas State Guest House in the Turkish capital. One day before the final round of talks, CHP leader Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu once again voiced his skepticism of the possibility of cooperation between the two parties, accusing President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan of blocking a potential coalition while praising the attitude of AK Party leader and interim Prime Minister Ahmet Davutoğlu. In a live interview on Sunday night on the Habertürk news station, Kılıçdaroğlu said, "Mr. Davutoğlu wants to form a coalition and to deal with the country's problems. I sincerely feel and believe this. However, the person sitting in the post of the presidency is not allowing this to happen." Following the general election on June 7, in which no single party obtained enough seats to form a single-party government, Erdoğan has been criticized for conducting a strategy aimed at preventing the formation of a coalition government. CHP Deputy Utku Akarsar told the Bugün television station on Monday that the probability of the two parties forming a coalition government was very low. The talks between the delegations were still underway at the time today's Zaman went to print. Following the talks, each delegation will present a report to its party. The leaders are expected to meet during the coming week, should the reports give hope of the possibility of a coalition. Noting that following the general election, Erdoğan was quick to mention the possibility of an early election, Kılıçdaroğlu said in his interview that a government should be formed by representatives of all parties in parliament instead of a minority government, should an early election be held. The AK Party is currently temporarily in power because it was already in government before the election. Economy Minister Nihat Zibesi said in a press meeting on Monday that he favors a coalition with the CHP, emphasizing that this was his personal opinion. "I want a coalition with the CHP. However, I do doubt the CHP's sincerity," Zibesi said. The delegations included top party figures such as European Union Minister Volkan Bozkır from the AK Party and CHP Deputy Chairman Murat Özçelik. Energy Minister Taner Yıldız said on Monday that his party was sincere in its efforts to forge a coalition. "The AK Party is acting in a constructive way, whether a coalition is forged or not," Yıldız said, but noted that the AK Party did not feel obliged to compromise on its conditions for a coalition. In Monday's meeting, in addition to Bozkır, the AK Party delegation comprised Culture and Tourism Minister Ömer Çelik, Deputy Prime Minister Numan Kurtulmuş and Deputies Lütfi Elvan, Ali San Arslan and Taha Özcan, with some changes having been made in the composition of the delegation from previous rounds of talks. Differently to the AK Party delegation, the CHP delegation remained essentially the same in the final round. The CHP delegation was composed of CO chairs Haluk Koc and Selin Sayıkbok, Fake Ojtraka deputy specializing in economic issues Deputy Akif Hamzaspi and Razim Bolyasik, a top advisor to the CHP leader on political issues. According to information today's Zaman learned from a high-level CHP official involved in the talks, the previous meeting on Saturday between the two parties took place in a tense atmosphere. Erdoğan, who headed AK Party governments before being elected president in August of last year, is still a powerful figure in the party and has made it clear that he favors a snap election. According to the constitution, the president can call for an early election if a government is not formed within 45 days after the election of all members of the Speaker's Council in Parliament. The 18-member Speaker's Council was formed on July 9, immediately after which Erdoğan gave acting Prime Minister Ahmet Davutoğlu the mandate to form a government.